Ren is a pathetic jobless bum who has to rent out his home for money. However, everything changes when broke monster baddies start showing up to live in his house, so he decides to crack them as payment. Everything begins on the day our goody two-shoes protagonist, Ren, confronts everyone's worst nightmare, getting a job. For the whole day, he keeps facing rejection, and even getting rejected from a Mia Khalifa film company for lacking the inches. Later, he takes a small nap at the park, but gets woken up by a baddie named Lily, who is looking for directions. She shows him a flyer of a house for rent, and Ren is surprised to see that it's his house, which he is renting out. Realizing how smooth her brain is for not knowing easy directions, Ren decides to help her out like the good Samaritan that he is. Then, they ride a bus to Ren's place, and once they get off, Ren warns Lily that it's dangerous to trust strangers, seeing how easily she followed him. However, Lily assures him that she is strong, and Ren gets a first taste of it when he struggles to help Lily by lifting her suitcase, while Lily lifts it easily. Just then, Lily senses a presence, and she presses him into a wall while urging Ren to run home without her, informing him that she has business to take care of. Not knowing what's going on, Ren refuses to leave a girl alone in the dark of night. Suddenly, a swarm of bats flies toward them, and Lily apologizes for dragging Ren into this before suddenly transforming into a badass white-haired furry, leaving him shocked. Out of nowhere, a vampire girl rushes in and attacks Lily, starting an intense hand-to-hand combat that One Punch Man would be jealous of seeing. Then, the vampire chick uses her wings to gain an advantage and heads toward Ren, aiming to suck him dry. Knowing how lethal her throat technique is, Lily quickly intercepts and heats bricks at her to force her to retreat. After, Lily apologizes for what happened and asks him not to tell anyone about what he saw. She then walks away, looking for a different place to stay, but Ren can see the kindness in her heart and refuses to let her sleep on the street like a dog, so he takes her to his place, even after knowing the danger that follows her. Then, they get to Ren's place, and he shows her the room she'll be staying in, where she finally gets a good shut-eye. However, in the morning, Ren wakes up to Lily screaming, and when he checks on her, he finds that she's terrified of his cat, Rolly. Suddenly, the room starts freezing, and when Ren checks the windows, bats fly inside the house. The vampire appears, grabs Ren away from Lily, and accuses Lily of kidnapping him. Both girls go at it with a much smaller animation budget than last time, both claiming that they are there to save Ren from the other. Seeing his home being ruined, Ren puts his foot down in anger and stops them both. After things calm down, the vampire chick introduces herself as Vivien, a noble from the blood sect. She reveals that she's also looking for a place to stay and wants to rent a room at Ren's house, the same way Lily wanted. Lily objects and even smashes a table in anger, but Ren tells Lily to clean up and takes Vivien to a vacant room she can rent, excited over having two paying tenants. But when it's time to pay the first month's rent, Vivien realizes her money is gone, leaving her completely broke. She starts crying, promising that she will pay rent later, and Ren feels bad, so he lets her stay as long as she pays him later. As gratitude, Vivien promises to cook for him from now on, and to his and Lily's surprise, the vampire's cooking is on par with Gordon Ramsay's. Suddenly, Ren gets a call from an unknown number, and the caller aggressively says she's calling about his application to their commerce company, but Ren doesn't remember ever applying. Even so, she yells at him to show up at their office by 2 in the afternoon and quickly gives him the address before hanging up. Not long after, Ren heads to the location, hoping he might finally conquer the nightmare that is job seeking and actually getting one. When he arrives at the slums where the company is supposed to be, the caller calls once more and tells him to touch the telephone pole beside him. After he places his hand on it, she tells him to look up to the sky, and to his shock, there's a huge castle floating upside down in the sky. The caller then tells Ren to take his hand gently off the pole, and when he does, his body shoots upward, pulling him straight into the castle like a portal pulled him in. When he opens his eyes again, he finds himself standing in front of a giant door, and when he takes a peek inside, a strange blue robot-like hologram appears and leads him to where he needs to go. Soon after, he arrives at the office of the loud woman from the phone. The woman welcomes him to their organization called Space and introduces herself as Raven, who claims that she will be his future boss. She calls him to come closer, and when he does, says that he has pretty eyes, which creeps him out. Then, she offers him a seat, and a chair suddenly appears beside him. While Ren is still trying to convince himself that he's not on any snort or blow, Raven pulls out a cup of ramen and starts eating it, which adds to the absurdity of the situation. Ren finally gathers himself and asks why he's here. Raven says he's there for an interview, but Ren argues that there is no commerce company anywhere. She then reveals that the company is just a cover, and Space is actually an affiliate department responsible for governing all universes. Ren nearly freezes from all the information she's throwing at him, but she tells him that he's only been selected for a position as her assistant examiner. She adds that his role as an examiner would involve making sure dangerous races don't destroy worlds, and that he already passed the preliminary test by finding the two outcasts. In the blink of an eye, she transports him to a futuristic room, and Raven explains that his job has two parts. First, he needs to take in more tenants, all of them special outcasts like Lily and Vivien. Second, he has to assist her with cleanup work involving rogue beings. Still confused, Ren asks what he's actually supposed to do, and Raven simply tells him to keep his tenants out of trouble. Ren then asks what will happen if he refuses the job. Raven calmly says his memory will be wiped, and his new tenants will be taken away from him. She tells him he can either accept a new life or go back to his old, worthless one, where all he did was goon to anime waifus and cry over not having a job, just like the losers watching this video. After explaining everything, they return to her office. Ren asks if the job involves anything immoral, but Raven reminds him that their purpose is to maintain peace. She also mentions that the pay is very good, and hands him a contract listing all the benefits he'll receive, which gets his attention. With the benefits stuck in his head, Ren ends up signing the document. Once he's done, Raven tells him he's free to go home. Then, Ren shows the contract to the two baddies living in his home, but both Lily and Vivien are skeptical about everything he explains. Vivien says that in all her years of living, she has never heard of the organization Space or Ren's new busty boss, Raven. However, she admits Raven doesn't seem connected to demon hunters, especially since Ren was told to protect them. Because of that, Vivien starts thinking the job might not be so bad, especially since they benefit from it. Vivien then reveals that she went outside earlier that afternoon to make sure she wasn't being tracked by demon hunters. Ren asks her about them and whether Tanjiro is in their team, but Vivien says that he's not and explains that the demon hunters they are facing are hybrid monsters with half-human blood who have been at war with beings like her for a long time, with no clear winner. After hearing that, Ren turns to Lily and asks if she knows anything about them, and she admits she's never encountered one and has only seen them on television. This only gives Vivien more reason to call her clueless, and Lily defends herself by saying she's lived with humans her whole life, which is why she doesn't know much about them. Realizing that Ren might be in danger, Vivien states that if the demon hunters were to bring problems to the house, then she will be the first to leave, alongside Lily, to avoid putting Ren in the crossfire. Sometime later, Ren is taking a nap when he suddenly finds himself in the same place Black Panther go to meet his ancestors.
Okay, now you are going too far now.
He walks around aimlessly until a group of wolves starts targeting him. He runs away but slips and falls perfectly to be the wolves' lunch. But as a wolf is about to maul him, he wakes up to Lily's voice. At first, Ren thinks it was just a dream, but then he notices that a wolf's fur is on him. They gather to examine it, and Vivien says that there's no dark magic coming from it. Lily then tries to track it down, and says that it's also not from her wolf lineage. At first, Vivien offers some charms to Ren as protection, like a trigram that was touched by Genghis Khan, amulets that have the pharaoh's creamy goon on it, and even a crystal ball that was used by Merlin to shove into where the sun doesn't shine. But then, Vivien decides that she should give protection through her blood using her magic from the blood sect, but it keeps disappearing from Ren's hand. Then, she uses a spell, but instead of hitting Ren, it knocks Lily into a deep sleep. Seeing all this, Ren decides to ask Raven about it, but right on cue, Raven calls him and demands that he report back to the office the next day because there's an urgent task waiting for him. The next day, Ren heads back to the floating castle, but when he reaches the entrance, the place is completely empty. With no one around, he starts thinking about leaving, wondering if this is some kind of joke. Just as he's about to turn back, Raven suddenly shows up wearing a farmer's outfit while carrying a Temu purple slushy version of Guts' Dragon Slayer. When he questions what she was doing, she says that she was just pruning some stubborn trees, and she asks him to wait inside. Later, Raven joins him in her office, where she tells Ren that she has something important for him, a special data terminal. According to her, it's a device meant only for examiners that is popular with women. She then places it on the table in front of him, and when Ren asks how he's supposed to use it, she tells him to simply control it with his mind, and it will respond to his thoughts automatically. When Ren looks at the device, it tells him about the high risk of death of his work, and while Ren is pissed about this, Raven teases him, saying that he signed up for one of the toughest jobs out there. However, she assures him that if he does die on the job, his soul will be put in a different body, ensuring he will keep on working, which effectively makes him immortal. Then, Ren asks about the urgent mission she mentioned earlier on the phone, and instead of answering right away, Raven takes him to another room. explaining that every examiner must first go through an enhancement procedure. Raven says that it's a simple process, but then suddenly pulls out a futuristic coffin, and it completely frightens Ren. She tells him to jump inside, and Ren tries to protest, saying he's not ready to join Kobe and Michael Jackson, but Raven kicks him straight inside. Without hesitation, she activates the machine, and electricity surges through the coffin, causing it to spin wildly. Ren screams from inside, but in the middle of it all, he suddenly disappears, leaving Raven shocked as she wonders if she pressed the wrong buttons. In the next moment, Ren finds himself back in the Temu Black Panther place where he was jumped by wolves. As he tries to figure out what's going on, the terminal flies out of his pocket and tells him that since Raven accidentally pressed a few more buttons, the enhancement he will face is special. It then introduces itself as his data terminal assistance, and Ren asks it to give him a nice blanket, hot chocolate, and hotter women to warm himself. But the terminal snaps back, saying it's just an upgraded guide system, not Doraemon's magic pockets. After traveling some more, Ren asks where they are, and the terminal explains that this place is the dream dimension, a parallel space connected to the real world. At first, Ren assumes it's just some kind of virtual environment, but the terminal quickly corrects him, warning that dying here means dying in real life as well. Hearing that, Ren nearly panics, realizing he's been thrown into a deadly situation without warning. Suddenly, Ren can sense danger around him, suspecting that something or someone has been tailing them since they arrived. In that moment, the wolves appear again, surrounding him just like before. The terminal immediately backs out and hides in his pocket, leaving Ren to deal with them alone. The wolves lunge at him, but instead of getting injured, a strange, scales-like shield suddenly appears and blocks the attack. Ren is confused, but the terminal explains that the shield is a result of the enhancement procedure, which activates automatically whenever he's attacked. Realizing they can't easily harm him, the wolves call for their leader, and when Ren looks up, he sees a coked-out wolf, ready to ravage him. Ren tries to run away, but before he can get far, the steroid wolf knocks him down. Just as it's about to bite his head off, the shield activates again, saving him at the last second. The impact even damages the wolf's teeth, and things take a strange turn when the wolf starts speaking in a human voice. The pack leader demands to know who Ren is and why he's in this dimension. Hearing the alpha speak reminds Ren of Lily, so with no better option, Ren quickly says he's just a traveler. Ren asks if there are any humans living nearby, and the wolf daddy says that there is, but adds that this place is not fit for humans to live in. After sniffing Ren's scent, he doesn't believe that he's a traveler, so he decides he'll make a good meal for his pack. Even with its injured teeth, it believes the rest of the wolves can take him down so the younger ones can feed. Realizing he's on the verge of dying, Ren quickly switches to negotiation. He offers to help the wolf find a dentist if he leads Ren to the nearest human civilization. While the wolf is skeptical, he agrees and lets Ren ride on his back and runs off toward the settlement. Along the way, the wolf complains about how humans ruin everything they touch, which makes Ren realize that humans seem to have the same reputation, even in this strange world. Eventually, they arrive at a small hut. The wolf leaves to return to its pack, reminding Ren of their deal, and Ren promises to find the dentist before stepping inside. Once inside, Ren uses the terminal like a flashlight so he can see, but it immediately feels disrespected and moves around, causing Ren to fall on the floor. Down there, he notices something familiar on the ground, and when he touches it, the entire hut suddenly lights up, and it transports Ren to somewhere else, leaving that world entirely. At the same time, back in the real world, Lily is outside taking care of a dog when she accidentally bumps into a strange man. To her surprise, the man doesn't budge at all, even after her impact, which makes her think that he's extremely strong. Meanwhile, when she returns home, she finds Vivien gooning to a vacuum cleaner out of amazement at how useful it is. Lily tries to make fun of her, but Vivien immediately gets back at her by showing off a dog cage she found, clearly meant for Lily, starting another argument between them. Then, back at the space office, Ren returns, and Raven asks him how it went. Ren expresses how pissed he is after what happened, but admits that the shield saved him in the dream dimension, where he felt like he was sent just to die. However, he complains that the shield is the only thing he gained, but Raven tells him not to worry, explaining that the rest of his enhancements will show up over time with practice. She reassures him that she already gave him powerful abilities, but his body needs time to adjust. Ren then asks more about the dream dimension, and Raven explains that it's a parallel world that normal humans can't access unless special methods are used. Hearing that, Ren informs her that he has been in that wolf world before through a dream, and shows her the wolf fur he brought back as proof of where he went. He also mentions finding a strange metal sheet, but when he checks, it's no longer with him. Seeing this, Raven abruptly pushes him out, saying she's sending him on a trip to Europe. She explains that his next task is to retrieve a new tenant, and everything for the trip has already been paid for. On top of that, she orders him to bring Lily and Vivien along since they might be useful. After Ren leaves, Raven takes a closer look at the wolf fur he brought back. However, it suddenly disappears right in front of her. Seeing this, she starts to worry, realizing that something from the parallel world might be leaking into their own. The next day, Ren and the girls board a plane heading to England to track down their new tenant. Vivien is amazed the entire time, staring out the window at how the plane manages to fly so high, and Ren casually points out that she can fly too, but Vivien quickly corrects him, saying she can't reach that kind of height. Ren finds that strange, since no human has ever spotted her, but Vivien explains that she flies at extremely high speeds, making it almost impossible for people to notice her. Lily jumps into the conversation and teases Vivien for never riding a plane before. Vivien immediately tries to defend herself, claiming she isn't so broke that she can't afford a ticket. She insists she just prefers flying with her own wings, but Lily clearly doesn't buy it and calls her out anyway. Meanwhile, Ren is busy complaining about Raven, annoyed that she gave them economy tickets instead of business class. Lily interrupts, bragging that she has been on a luxury plane before, but Ren and Vivien quickly find out the truth that this broke bum of a dog was just hanging onto the outside of it, which ruins her attempt to sound hip and cool. Not long after, they land in London, but things quickly get frustrating when they struggle to find their hotel. Lily suggests calling a taxi, but Ren shuts that idea down, saying they're too broke to spend money like that. Since they need directions, Vivien confidently steps up and offers to talk to a local, claiming her English is good because she once lived in England. However, when this overconfident dud tries speaking, the locals just stare at her like she's a total pleb with cheese for brains. Ren then asks when she last lived in England, and she casually says it was centuries ago, which explains everything, and Ren can't believe that this sped didn't realize that language changes over time. After thinking for a bit, Vivien comes up with another idea. She pulls out the hotel card and tells Lily to track the scent using her sensitive nose. Lily isn't interested at first, but Ren knows exactly how to motivate her. He mentions that the hotel probably has amazing food, and Lily perks up like a fat slob and starts leading the way without hesitation, dragging the others along. Then, when they finally reach the hotel, they're all impressed by how nice the room is. Lily wastes no time ordering room service and starts eating without holding back, even though the bills keep adding up. On the other hand, Vivien takes full advantage of the soft bed, enjoying a level of comfort she never had with her coffin. While both of them relax, Ren is the only one stressing out about everything. Eventually, he reaches his limit and yells at them to calm down. The girls later apologize for getting carried away, and Ren accepts it, reminding them that they still have a mission to complete. He pulls out the terminal and asks it to help read the map, but the terminal refuses, saying it hasn't been updated to the latest version. Right then, Ren gets a call from Raven, who says that she will update the terminal for him. Once the upgrade is done, the terminal announces that it can now translate different languages. However, it also warns Ren that there's a penalty if he insults Raven or talks badly about her. Unfortunately, Ren had already been doing exactly that, and he gets instantly zapped as punishment. After he recovers, Lily tries talking to the terminal in wolf language, and the clacker surprisingly manages to understand her, although the only word she seems to know still revolves around food. Later, the group heads to the dining area to eat. While they're there, one of Vivien's summoned creatures, which has been patrolling, detects something suspicious. Vivien becomes uneasy and suggests they return to their room. As they're discussing it, a strange-looking man with glasses approaches them and introduces himself as Nangong, who asks them if he can join them, to which Ren agrees. Ren asks him if he knows the way to Yorkford, and Nangong says yes, adding that he's heading there too. Nangong then warns them to be careful if they're heading to Yorkford Castle, saying there are ghosts there. Later that night, Ren is relaxing on the balcony when Vivien joins him. She tells him that she senses a demon hunter somewhere in the hotel, as according to her, one of her summons picked up on it. Ren isn't too worried, pointing out that Lily didn't notice anything, but Vivien quickly dismisses that, saying Lily is too focused on food to notice real danger. Ren suggests they track the demon hunter down, and Vivien reveals that she suspects Nangong as their culprit. As they talk, they suddenly hear Nangong calling out to them from his own balcony. He casually admits that he's the demon hunter they're looking for. Vivien bursts out laughing, not believing someone like him could actually be a demon hunter. But her laughter stops the moment Nangong suddenly appears on their balcony. His clumsy landing nearly sends him falling, but Ren grabs him just in time and pulls him up. Nangong then follows them into their room to properly introduce himself. To prove he's telling the truth, he shows Vivien the same type of incantation her summon detected earlier, which convinces her. He then assumes all of them are superhumans, but Ren corrects him, saying he's just a normal human. Nangong doesn't fully believe that, especially since Ren knows about demon hunters and Yorkford Castle. Still, he suggests that they all travel to the castle together the next day. After that, Nangong leaves, saying he has something to take care of and will meet them early in the morning. Once he's gone, Ren asks Vivien why she agreed so easily. Vivien explains that it's her way of keeping an eye on him, as she also suspects that their new tenant might be Nangong's target. The next morning, they board a train heading to Yorkford. During the ride, a news report plays on a screen about a recent ghost attack. A reporter interviews a witness named Angus, who talks about what he saw, and the report also mentions a reward for anyone who can solve the mystery behind the ghost sightings. Vivien immediately shows interest because of the money, but Ren reminds her that their main goal is finding the new tenant. Not long after, 3 strange men walk past them, claiming to be ghost hunters. Once they arrive, the group heads to a nearby inn to stay for the night. To their surprise, the innkeeper turns out to be Angus, the same man from the news. At first, Angus tells them there are no rooms available, but after they keep asking, he says he'll try to arrange something for them. However, the way he says it comes across as creepy, which makes the situation feel even more suspicious. Sometime later, Angus manages to prepare 2 rooms for them. The boys take one, while the girls share the other, though Lily is already fast asleep the moment they get in. Back in the boys' room, Angus asks Nangong if he plans to visit the castle because of the ghost situation. Ren tries to stop him from saying too much, but Nangong talks non-stop, proudly declaring that he's a professional demon hunter from China who came to wipe out evil. Angus gets excited hearing that and immediately asks him for more details. Meanwhile, in the other room, Vivien struggles to push Lily off her because the stupid sleeping mutt keeps clinging to her like she's a bologna sandwich. Angus then sits down with them and begins explaining the story behind Yorkford Castle. He says that it used to be called that long ago, but most people don't use the name anymore. When asked why, Angus explains that people are warned to stay away because of a rebellion that happened there, which led to the castle being abandoned. According to him, soldiers were trapped in underground tunnels during the chaos, and those same soldiers eventually became ghosts. Now, those ghosts wander the area and attack treasure hunters out of anger. He goes on to explain that the castle is filled with treasure, but it's also packed with traps to protect it. Angus adds that the former lord of the castle had 3 sons, and after the lord died, the eldest inherited everything, which caused the other 2 to join forces and rebel against him. The conflict spread beyond the castle and into the city, but in the end, all 3 brothers died within the castle grounds. Since then, people believe their spirits still linger there, which is why everyone avoids the place. After hearing the story, Ren heads to the girls' room to tell Vivien about it, since Lily is still sleeping like a rock. Vivien reveals that she already sent her bats to scout the castle, and based on what they reported, there's a chance ghosts really are there. Ren immediately gets nervous, but Vivien tells him to calm down. She explains that the presence she sensed is coming from underground, while the recent ghost incidents happened above ground, so the 2 might not be connected. When Ren returns to his room, he sees Nangong staring at a photo, and he says that it's something important to him. He believes that the picture is supposedly of his sister, though her face isn't visible. Ren tries to ask more about it, but Nangong suddenly slips into his sleeping bag, which looks torn apart. Ren questions why he's sleeping in something like that, and Nangong casually says it helps keep bugs away, even though it's clearly falling apart. Ren then asks why Nangong doesn't work with his sister if she's also strong, but Nangong denies it, saying she's just a normal girl. He explains that he became a demon hunter to protect her, and he doesn't even know where she is right now. Later that night, while everyone else is asleep, Angus secretly runs a side job, transporting the 3 ghost hunters to the castle for money. But Nangong is still awake and notices what's going on. Not long after, Vivien enters Ren's room and tells him something strange is happening in the inn. She points out that the innkeeper, Nangong, and the 3 ghost hunters have all disappeared, so she suggests they track them down to see what they're up to. Ren agrees and asks about Lily. When they return to the girls' room, they find her still sleeping without a care in the world. Vivien even punches her into the wall, but that still isn't enough to wake her up. Meanwhile, Angus is warning the 3 ghost hunters to stay away from the church near the castle, saying it's dangerous. Just then, Nangong suddenly lands on top of their vehicle. One of the ghost hunters releases a snake from his pouch, and it slithers toward Nangong. At the same time, Vivien flies through the air while carrying Ren, tracking the vehicle from above. Lily, still asleep, runs on all 4s at high speed, somehow keeping up with them. Ren is shocked that he can clearly see everything, but then realizes it must be because of the enhancement he went through earlier. Out of nowhere, Lily crashes into a rock while running at full speed, and the impact finally wakes her up. Ren and Vivien land to check on her, but suddenly, Lily drops into a hole created by the crash. Ren panics, but Vivien just smiles, saying they found a shortcut to the castle thanks to her. They head into the tunnel, and after barely making it through, they reach the castle grounds. Vivien warns them to stay alert, since they don't know what might be waiting for them inside. They move carefully and soon spot the 3 strange ghost hunters in the distance. But to their surprise, they see that there are more ghost hunters gathered there as well. Since they need information about their new tenant, Ren turns to the terminal for help, but the useless, waste of space clanker tells them to figure things out themselves. When Ren tries to force it to assist, it simply goes into sleep mode. As they continue exploring the ruins, they notice Nangong moving ahead on his own. While looking around, they come across a church. Ren suggests they go inside. After he reluctantly apologizes to the terminal, it finally responds and tells them to proceed. Just as they're about to enter, they notice ghost hunters closing in on them. Without hesitation, Lily and Vivien jump into action, making terrifying faces and strange noises to scare them off. Once the ghost hunters run away, Lily easily lifts the large rock blocking the church entrance and tosses it aside like it weighs nothing. Inside, Lily mentions that she can smell other humans besides Ren nearby. They soon find footprints, and Ren concludes that someone has already gone ahead of them. Not long after, they discover strange markings on a stone plate. When they remove it, they find a pulley hidden underneath. Lily pulls it, revealing a path leading underground. At that moment, the terminal finally becomes useful and informs Ren that their new tenant is located somewhere ahead. Ren is relieved to hear that, excited about adding another tenant to his place. However, Vivien remains uneasy, especially since Nangong has disappeared without a trace. As they move deeper into the dark tunnels, Ren tells Terminal to shine brighter so they can actually see where they're going. That immediately annoys it, and it snaps back, reminding him that it's not some kind of flashlight, even if it technically helps with directions. Not long after, they enter a large storage-like room, and the atmosphere alone makes it clear that stories about the less friendly Casper existing might actually be real. Outside, Nangong's instincts lead him to a huge boulder blocking the underground entrance. Using a paper spell, he manages to move it aside. As he squeezes his way in, he almost gets crushed, but somehow manages to survive by pure luck. Back in the tunnels, Ren and the girls take a short break, but they soon hear a strange noise in the distance. That immediately gets their attention, and they start hoping it might be the new tenant. They continue forward along the empty path, waiting for something to happen. Before long, they spot Angus ahead of them, and his presence down there instantly feels suspicious. To avoid being noticed, Vivien uses her vampire abilities to hide their presence. She suggests getting closer to observe him, but Ren doesn't see the point, thinking Angus is just a normal guy. Vivien points out that he's clearly hiding something, especially since he's carrying equipment around with him. The 3 of them approach and suddenly scare him, making Angus panic. In fear, he quickly confesses that he made up the ghost stories just to attract tourists, because his business wasn't doing well. Lily gets annoyed, saying it's wrong to profit off dead people, but Ren reminds her that she was also ready to chase the reward for dealing with the ghosts. As Vivien's concealment starts to wear off, Ren tells Angus to run, and he doesn't hesitate to take the chance. After he leaves, Lily notices strange writings on the walls. Vivien recognizes them as runes commonly used by demon hunters, while to Ren, they just look like ugly scribbles made by dudes with missing chromosomes. So he asks Vivien to translate them instead of staring too long. Vivien reads the message aloud, explaining that the place is meant to seal evil from reaching the surface, and nothing evil should be able to escape. As she continues, Ren realizes something dangerous must be hidden in the tunnels. Vivien agrees, suggesting that the castle's lord was likely a demon hunter who lived among humans. Curious, Vivien touches the wall, but the moment she does, the runes react to her energy. A trap activates instantly, and arrows start firing at them from all directions. Ren quickly uses his rigid shield to block the attacks, protecting all of them. They run as fast as they can until they reach the end of the tunnel, where Ren tells Lily to break down the door. Meanwhile, Nangong is still squeezing through narrow passages, trying to find his way forward. At one point, a rat crawls over him, and in his panic to get rid of it, he nearly burns himself. Back with the low-budget Scooby Squad, Ren and the girls finally reach a safer area and try to catch their breath, but before they can relax, a massive boulder suddenly rolls toward them, Indiana Jones style. They quickly press themselves against the wall to avoid getting crushed. Just as they think they're safe, Lily's instincts kick in, and she starts chasing the boulder like it's a game. Ren and Vivien have no choice but to chase after her, but then the ground suddenly opens beneath her, causing her to fall. Without hesitation, Vivien transforms into her vampire form and dives down, catching Lily before she hits the ground. At the same time, Nangong ends up reaching the same trap-filled area they passed earlier. Like Vivien, he touches the runes, triggering the arrow trap, and the arrows rush toward him, ready to tear him apart. Vivien safely sets Lily down, but right after that, Ren crashes down on top of them. As they recover, they look around and realize they've landed in a room filled with treasure. Lily and Vivien immediately get excited and are about to rush toward it, but Ren stops them, telling them to think before acting. When they do that, they look and realize that the treasure was just an illusion. Vivien concludes that the fog they passed through must have cast a powerful hallucination spell, but they think it's strange that Ren wasn't affected by it at all, which raises more questions. They continue moving through the dungeon, wondering how far it goes. Ren is already feeling uneasy and hopes they can find the tenant quickly so they can leave. Vivien comments that everything about the place feels off, and based on the runes, she suspects their target might actually be the one sealed somewhere in the dungeon. Suddenly, the walls around them start closing in, trying to crush them. Vivien and Lily attempt to use their powers, but the runes suppress their abilities. The two of them begin to panic, but Ren stays calm and insists there must be a way out. Acting on instinct, he pushes against the walls, trying to hold them back. Surprisingly, the walls stop moving, and the girls regain their powers. Ren immediately tells them to get out before anything else happens. Later, Ren and the girls stop to rest again, but suddenly, armored knights rise from the ground and start chasing them relentlessly. Lily and Vivien fight back, managing to push the knights back for the moment. Even so, Vivien warns that this isn't over yet, since they haven't faced the main force. As she examines one of the knight's swords, she notices markings pointing to something called a magic stone. She realizes that the ghosts aren't just wandering, but they're actually guarding something. Ren doesn't understand, so Vivien explains that magic stones can be used to summon demons. In this case, the ghosts are protecting the seal to prevent that from happening. Lily suggests destroying the stone, but Vivien says it won't be easy. Ren tries to stay calm, saying they'll be fine as long as they don't mess with it, but Vivien warns him that a powerful demon might still find a way to break free, even without being summoned. Ren then suggests they stay away from it entirely, but when they look up, they realize the stone is hanging right above them. Vivien tells him not to panic, explaining that it's safe as long as nothing interferes with it. At that exact moment, Nangong strikes a wall from the other side using his power, and the impact causes one of the chains holding the stone to snap. Immediately, a massive number of knights appear, surrounding the trio. In an instant, Ren and the others find themselves trapped, facing a swarm of undead knights ready to attack. However, just as the knights are about to close in, the front line suddenly gets hit by a rain of arrows. The one firing them turns out to be Nangong, and he confidently tells the group to leave the undead knights to a big willy chad like him. He even tries to look cool by flying toward the stone, but immediately loses balance and crashes down to the ground, causing him to lose a tooth. For a moment, the group is too caught up worried about him, but they quickly remember they're still surrounded by undead knights. Surprisingly, Nangong acts like a cold demon slayer again and throws a special powder that immobilizes them on contact. Once they are frozen in place, he starts cutting them down with his arrows with ease. While Ren is impressed, the girls call him to focus, as they are still surrounded on their side. Vivien calmly tells Ren that these knights are nothing compared to her power. She prepares to use her ultimate ability, but instructs Ren and Lily to protect her while she activates it. Lily charges forward to hold back the undead, while Ren stays close to Vivien, defending her with his impenetrable shield. Then, just as Lily starts running out of energy after going full solo, Vivien finally completes her charge. She jumps into the air and releases her blood-sucked vampire power in a massive burst, aiming it to finish the knights. The team is impressed by the overwhelming display, but before it can damage the knights, the magic stone absorbs the attack instead. That immediately turns into a bad sign, as cracks begin spreading across it. A red light shoots upward, and soon after, massive destruction follows. From the shattered stone, a terrifying figure covered in flames emerges. During the chaos, Nangong hits his head and passes out. Suddenly, the flaming figure moves and grabs both Ren and Nangong. Without saying a word, it flies off with them. The girls quickly chase after them, and when it eventually stops, and Vivien challenges it, asking how it can move faster than her despite having no wings. In response, the fiery being drops Ren midair, sending him into panic before Vivien rushes to him and tells him not to be afraid. She confidently claims that demons and vampires are nearly equal in strength, then unleashes her own overwhelming aura, causing a red moon-like presence to form in the sky. Just as Vivien is about to strike, the fiery being suddenly speaks, asking Ren if he is the landlord. Everyone freezes in shock, and at that moment, Terminal finally speaks up, announcing that the mission is complete and that the entity in front of them is the new tenant. The fiery being introduces himself as Zach and happily greets Ren. Vivien suspects a mistake, but Terminal confirms it by detecting a strong energy signature from Zach. The being then grabs Nangong and says he was the one who awakened him. He spins Nangong around like a toy before flinging him away. Zach then asks Ren if there is a contract he needs to sign to officially bind with him. Vivien immediately objects, but Terminal confirms that the mission is specifically to form a contract with Zach. With everyone in agreement, Ren reminds Zach about the undead knights still present in the castle. Zach calmly says it's not a problem and casually fires a single energy blast from his finger, reducing the entire castle to dust. Everyone is stunned by the sheer power, including Terminal, which starts praising Zach. Vivien still remains suspicious, but the moment Zach compliments her, she instantly starts doubting her doubts. Soon after, they hear footsteps approaching, and Ren suggests Zach take a human form. Zach agrees, but his human form still looks just as intimidating. Later, Ren reports back to Raven about the new tenant, and he complains that Zach is too reckless and solves everything by blasting it with raw power. During a conversation, Zach reveals he only arrived on the planet a month ago. He also explains that he wasn't sealed in the magic stone, and it was actually a portal. Even more surprising, Zach turns out to be a demon boss from his world. He was badly defeated in a war and nearly died, but was saved by an examiner during the process. Because of that, he ended up here. Raven tells Ren to take care of Zach properly, since he is the first outcast officially taken in by the senior examiner. Then Ren follows her instructions and makes sure Zach is accommodated in the house. Surprisingly, Zach gets along with the girls without much trouble. Later, while cleaning the house, Vivien discovers a metal plate, the same one Ren once saw in the dream dimension, and thought he had lost. Alongside it, she also finds a note that Ren says he discovered in that same dream space years ago. It reminds him of the coked-out, roided alpha wolf leader, and he quietly hopes he is doing well. Vivien then points out that there may be a connection between Ren and the dream space, suggesting he must have entered it for a reason when he was younger. To their surprise, both the metal plate and the note contain the same message, which translates to the source of power, awaken again, and open the gate. Before they can figure it out further, Ren suddenly receives a call that Zach has been arrested. Without hesitation, he drops everything and rushes off to the station to bail him out. Some days later, Ren heads to the space office after Raven called for him. On the way there, he sees a girl playing the guitar, and is amazed by how much soul she puts into her singing. When the girl sees him, she smiles brightly at him, to which Ren smiles back. But when he wants to give her some money, this broke bum realizes that he forgot his wallet. The Terminal scolds him for being a reckless idiot, who couldn't even spare a change for her. But Ren can only walk away in shame. All the while the girl looks at him as he walks away, saying how much of a poor dude he is. Then, when Ren arrives at space, Raven bashes the table in frustration after what just happened. She explains that a new tenant is supposed to be coming to their universe, but some cheesy nonsense happened, and they got sent to another universe. So Ren has to go bring them back. Ren complains about being sent out again when he just returned from England. But Raven yells at him, saying he has no choice because it is his job. Since the target planet is mostly ocean, Raven says she has already arranged a sea expert to help him. Right then, the expert walks in, and it turns out to be the same girl he saw singing beautifully earlier. But the girl looks at Ren with pure disgust, calling him a broke piece of turd. Raven expresses how glad she is to know that they have both met each other, and informs them that the girl will be Ren's new tenant, which shocks both of them. Later, Ren brings the girl, Wu Yuwei, back to his home and introduces her to the others, and they all warmly welcome her as a part of their circus. Wu Yuwei then reveals that she is actually a child of a siren, an ancient race among the outcasts. When Ren expresses how confused he is, Vivien explains that sirens live in the sea and are rarely seen by humans. However, their race consists surprisingly only of females, and they reproduce through secret cracking rituals where fishy scissors are the centerpiece. Then properly greet her into the household with a homemade meal made by Vivien, and arguments between the two girls, which amuse her. After the small welcome party, Ren briefs them about the next mission, and how he could only take 2 tenants with him alongside Wu Yuwei. Both Vivien and Lily want to join, but when Ren reveals that they are going to outer space, Vivien feels hesitant. Meanwhile, Zach says that he had experience with spaceships, so Ren picks him first. Then, Lily throws a tantrum and begs to be included, wanting to go to space, but when a stomachache hits her, it forces her to sit on the sidelines. That night, while everyone is asleep, Wu Yuwei finds Ren fetching a drink from the fridge and teases him for struggling to sleep out of fear of his next mission. Wu Yuwei then asks what kind of team Ren and the others are, and Ren is surprised that Raven didn't tell her anything, so he chooses to lie and simply say that they are Special Space Rangers. Ren then asks Wu Yuwei why she has been traveling all year, but she refuses to say and simply say that it's a secret. The next morning, Ren, Wu Yuwei, and Zack stand on the balcony. The terminal activates the coordinates, and in a flash, they are transported away. They soon arrive at the Kuiper station, where a kind guide greets them. The terminal informs Ren that the guide is actually an alien, which surprises him since he expected aliens to look strange. The guide explains that the environment has been adjusted to match Earth. Ren then asks why the station seems empty, and she explains it is mainly a transport hub, so people do not stay long. The guide tells him she will take him to his assigned docking area and mentions that the crew there might look more like the aliens he imagined. When they arrive, Ren is amazed because the aliens look exactly like what he expected. However, the terminal quickly pulls him toward the ship, so they are not late, and it explains they will first use a civilian craft before transferring to another one later. Then, a hologram appears, showing the ship's captain. He announces that they are about to travel a distance of about 200 billion light-years. Ren asks how long it will take, and the captain brags about his skills before adding that the ship is very fast. He claims they will reach their destination in less than 24 hours. After boasting, he starts the ship and heads off. Back on Earth, Vivien and Lily continue their usual rivalry. During the trip, everything goes smoothly until the captain spots another ship and decides to race it just out of pride. Ren tries to remind him they need to switch ships soon, but the captain ignores him. Ren considers jumping ships on his own, but the terminal warns him it would be dangerous if they miss the transfer point. The terminal guides them to the exit, but they find the hatch locked. Zack steps in and, using his strength along with his demon form, forces it open. They launch their small ship, with Zack jumping in after it. The ship heads toward the destination, but as it enters the atmosphere, it loses its propeller. It crashes into the ocean. While Ren thinks he is about to die, Wu Yuwei transforms into her siren form and saves him, and the last thing he sees is a beautiful fish-like woman. Then, when Ren finally opens his eyes, he finds himself in the dream space again, laying down in the exact same cabin as last time. The terminal pops up and tells him not to worry, explaining that Wu Yuwei saved him from drowning and already informed the others of his situation. Ren is surprised that the terminal can function in 2 different realms, and the terminal tells him that it's a piece of cake for it to do double porting in 2 different realms. Suddenly, Ren hears a fight outside, and when he looks out, he sees the wolves from before defending their territory against red-colored beasts. When Ren sees that the wolves are losing, he jumps in and assists them using his shield. But despite the help, the alpha wolf feels insulted by the assist and is ready to maul him for it. He also brings up his false promise of bringing a dentist, but Ren assures him that he will bring him one, and after seeing how Ren helped them, he chooses to believe this hairless ape. Then Ren pulls out the metal plate that teleported him one and asks if the wolf knows what it is. The alpha wolf recognizes the writing and says that it's an ancient writing. It surprises Ren to see that the wolf knows it, and the wolf explains that a human once taught him that and how it was used for rituals and blessings. Ren asks what other things are the languages used for, but just as the wolf is explaining the lore of it, Ren is suddenly pulled back to the real world. Ren is annoyed that he was woken up, and Zack tells him they had to wake him up with a lightning shock. The terminal then informs them that he has scanned the planet, and concludes that with the aircraft remains, the tenant can be in one of 2 places. After hearing that, the team heads to check it out. Back on Earth, Vivien cooks as usual, loading her dish with garlic despite being a vampire. But instead of affecting her, the garlic hits Lily hard, knocks him out, and makes her crash out, forcing Vivien having to hold her down. Back with the crew, Ren and his team soon arrive at the crash site of the tenant's ship. Ren is shocked by how much damage the crash caused and says it would have made headlines for months if it happened on Earth. Zack walks over to check the ship and forces the door open, but finds no one inside. Unsatisfied, he goes all out and tears the entire ship apart to make sure the tenant is not hiding anywhere. After finding nothing, the terminal finally speaks up and explains that the section they found is not the cargo area. Ren is stunned and asks why the tenant would be in the cargo section. The terminal says it does not know, but mentions that the cargo area is the strongest part of the ship, increasing the chances of survival. Hearing this, Ren suggests they check the other crash site, which turns out to be in the ocean. Without hesitation, Wu Yuwei dives into the sea to investigate the wreckage, which lies 5,000 meters deep. Before jumping in, she tosses her clothes to Ren for safekeeping, which almost paints his inner pants white and gooey. The terminal then suggests that Ren follow her since he is the examiner and needs to be present, and before he can react, Zach grabs him and yeets him into the water. Wu Yu-wei catches him just before he drowns, and Ren realizes he can breathe underwater thanks to her power. Wu Yu-wei explains she is controlling the water around them, allowing him to breathe and withstand the pressure, leaving Ren amazed by how powerful the outcasts are. Suddenly, a large shark appears and rushes toward them. Sensing danger, Wu Yu-wei transforms into a terrifying octopus form, scaring the dumb fish and making it swim away. Ren is shocked, and Wu Yu-wei explains she can transform into almost anything. Not long after, they locate the cargo section of the ship, and after the terminal scans the cargo, it reports that the exterior is damaged, but the inside seems intact. To examine it, Wu Yu-wei creates a dry space around the cargo using her powers. Ren enters easily, but when Wu Yu-wei tries, she keeps slipping because of her fish-like lower body. Ren questions why she does not turn back into a human, and she reminds him she left her clothes behind, meaning that her fishy beef will be materialized. Then, the terminal opens the container, but Ren is disappointed when he sees no one inside. Ren suggests contacting Raven for help. While they speak with her, Wu Yu-wei finds a smaller box inside filled with baby items. Ren tells Raven they cannot find the tenant, but she insists that is impossible and asks to see inside. When he shows her, she points out that Wu Yu-wei is already holding the tenant, and the egg Wu Yu-wei is playing with is actually the tenant. The egg suddenly slips and nearly causes disaster, but it does not break. Raven then tells Ren to meet her on a large stretch of land in an hour to discuss the next step. After, Ren and Wu Yu-wei return to land and reunite with Zach. Together, they wait for Raven. She soon arrives in a large ship, but her dramatic landing ends up burying them in sand. She then casually invites them aboard as if nothing happened. Ren quickly forgets everything when he learns the ship belongs to him, and he is completely amazed, never expecting such a gift. When he asks for its name, Raven tells him it is called the hybrid turtle, which Ren finds to be both silly and dope. Raven then reveals that the egg they recovered belongs to a mermaid, the last of her kind after her world was destroyed. She adds that the mermaid shares similarities with Wu Yu-wei, who is a siren. Once they are ready to leave, Ren lets the terminal handle launching the ship since he has no idea how to operate it. Afterward, the squad returns home, and when they step inside, they are greeted by the house being ruined top to bottom. They then spot Vivien desperately trying to hold Lily down, and when asked what happened, Vivien claims that Lily has gone haywire. Suddenly, breaks free from the ropes and leaps at Ren, but his shield saves him. When she attacks again, Zach quickly holds her back from attacking. Vivien then explains how Lily lost consciousness during dinner and suddenly turned into a rabid dog. Ren suggests that they bring Lily to Raven, and while they're hopeful that Raven can help, the terminal warns them that Lily can't be teleported due to being unstable. Hearing that, Zach takes action, and using soy sauce, he draws a magic circle and teleports all of them to the space station. As soon as they arrive, Raven tells them not to bother her lunch, but Lily grabs onto Raven's leg like it is food. However, Raven shows that she's unbothered, and with her abilities, she grabs her head and looks into what's on Lily's mind. There, Lily reveals that she sees the big red moon and people on it that melt into the sea. That triggers Lily to attack, but Raven easily knocks her out cold to sleep. Then, Raven explains that Lily is going through an evolutionary process where she will get new abilities and get stronger. However, before she can reach that level, she has to fully turn into a wolf. Raven says something must have triggered it recently, and Ren realizes it was likely the Scarlet Moon Vivien created at the castle before. With this, Raven then tells Ren to take Lily to the Enhancement Center to stabilize her. And as they walk away, she asks Zach and Wu Yu-wei if life is better with Ren, to which they say that it is infinitely better. A few hours later, Lily wakes up at the center and apologizes for causing trouble. She and Vivien start arguing again, but Ren tells Lily to calm down, saying that Vivien was the one who stayed by her side the whole time, which Vivien refuses to acknowledge. Then, Ren sends off the outcasts back home to get some rest while he reports what happened to Raven. When he meets her, she tells Ren he needs to write a report about the new tenants he got now. This makes him regret everything, since he did not expect this kind of work to feel like a normal job, but she warns him that if he doesn't, he won't get paid and stay broke, which scares him. She then asks if he's enjoying his new life with the others, and he says that he is. But then, Raven also reminds him that Lily is not fully stable yet, and her wolf side is only suppressed and will return. So he needs to be ready for it. She suspects that it would be on the next full moon, and when she checks it, She sees that it will be the next day, so she tells Ren to handle it himself because she will be busy. When he tries to opt out of the assignment, she reminds him that he has been doing fantastically at what he does, so she expects him to deliver once more. Later back home, Ren finds Vivien cooking up a special potion for Lily that looks like a massive dump of the Incredible Hulk's incredible goon. When a drop falls to the ground and burns it like acid, Ren starts thinking it is poison instead of a potion. However, Ren has faith in Vivien's potion and asks her to finish it before they go on their camping trip. Then, Ren and the others camp in the mountains to prepare for the full moon. The outcasts are intrigued by this concept called camping, and Ren assures them that they are safe to do anything in these mountains without the fear of getting caught. As the night gets darker, some of them play games, while Lily keeps eating non-stop. Vivien tells her to hurry up and transform, but Lily says she does not feel like it. Vivien insists because everyone is already tired from dealing with her earlier, and eventually, they all fall asleep, while Lily stays awake. Moments later, Lily watches the moon and slowly transforms. When they hear her howling, they rush out and see her in her feral form. Vivien warns Ren that Lily is not in control. Zach quickly creates a barrier and tells everyone to stay inside. As expected, Lily goes wild and attacks, but the barrier holds her back. After a strong burst of wind, the transformation finishes. To their surprise, she turns into a giant Siberian husky instead of a wolf. Ren slowly approaches her, and Vivien warns him again, but Lily does not attack. Everyone relaxes for a moment, and Vivien tries to feed her the pills she prepared to calm her down, but it only makes things worse. Lily loses control again, and Vivien realizes she messed up the formula. Lily runs toward the town, and the group chases after her. Ren comes up with a plan and tells Zach to stop her with his strength, but it fails immediately. Vivien tries again using her bats to hold Lily back, while Ren attempts to talk her down, but that fails too. Just as things are about to get worse, they hear a gentle voice behind them, which turns out to be Wu Yu Wei. Using her voice and powers, Wu Yu Wei manages to calm Lily down. Ren then gently pets her until she falls asleep. Lily soon turns back into her human form, and Vivien quickly covers her with bats. When they return home, Ren lays Lily on the bed to rest. Suddenly, a man wearing glasses appears and knocks Ren out from behind. Soon after, Lily wakes up in what looks like a warehouse, and she is confused because she doesn't remember Ren's house being such a dirty place. She tries to leave, but a barrier on the door pushes her back. Just then, two men enter and tell her they are her kin. Lily is confused, and they claim she has been bewitched by a vampire and needs their help. Lily argues that Ren and the others are kind, but they ignore her. She tries to force her way out, but they knock her unconscious. As they are about to leave, one of Vivien's bats is spotted, making them realize they have been exposed. Meanwhile, Ren wakes up and tells the others that Lily has been kidnapped. Vivien tries to use her bat to gather information, but something blocks the connection. The terminal steps in and scans the bat that returned. It analyzes the data and helps them figure out that Lily is being held in an industrial area. Ren quickly forms a team to rescue her. He tells Wu Yu Wei and Zach to pair up, while he goes with Vivien. At the same time, the kidnappers strengthen their hideout to keep intruders out. Soon, Vivien tracks the warehouse using her bats. One tries to enter, but gets knocked down by a barrier. Vivien examines it and realizes it is a strong type of magic she has seen before. She tells Ren they need to find another way inside. Meanwhile, Zach and Wu Yu Wei discover what looks like a worker area nearby. Zach breaks the door open and finds a group of men casually playing games, and Wu Yu Wei calmly tells Zach they should not attack since the men seem harmless. Back outside, Vivien reminds Ren that he might be able to pass through the barrier, just like before, as his ability can cancel out magic. They test it, and when Ren touches the barrier, part of it turns to dust. Then, Vivien lifts Ren, planning to get him to an upper entrance, but suddenly they are attacked by one of the kidnappers, Yuan, who has been waiting. Yuan accuses Ren and his group of kidnapping Lily, even though he is clearly the one responsible. He angrily transforms into a werewolf and starts attacking them with magic, forcing them to dodge constantly. Vivien sets Ren down in what seems like a safe spot, but it quickly becomes dangerous when Yuan charges at them again. She tells Ren she will handle Yuan and urges him to find Lily, but Yuan refuses to let them go, so Vivien carries Ren up to the top of a tower while fighting Yuan. At the same time, Zach and Wu Yu Wei are still dealing with the men in the basement. As the fight continues, Vivien lands a strong hit on Yuan, and he realizes from her power that she is the feared vampire known as the Countess of the Crimson Moon. After struggling for a while, Ren finally gets inside the building. However, Yuan's brother suddenly appears behind him, and nearly cuts his head off if it weren't for the shield that saved him in time. Ren quickly runs through the building, trying to escape, but the terminal tells him to stop running and face the werewolf. Ren argues that he cannot fight someone that strong, but the terminal reminds him that he went through the enhancement process and now has similar strength. When Ren doubts his own strength, the werewolf grabs him and throws him around, but he survives. Ren tries to hide, but the terminal warns him that the werewolf can track him by scent. As expected, the wolf finds him again. Ren barely escapes and then uses his head, turning on the water sprinklers to wash away his scent. He crawls into the vents to get away and eventually finds Lily. Lily gets excited when Ren tells her they are going home, but their escape is blocked again by the werewolf. Just then, Yuan crashes into the building after being thrown by Vivien. He warns his brother not to fight her, revealing her identity as the Countess of the Crimson Moon. As things are about to get worse, Ren steps in and tells everyone to calm down. He explains the situation of how both girls are his tenants, and once the wolves realize he is telling the truth, they back off. They find it hard to believe they can make friends with vampires, but choose to believe it. Just then, as everything is calming down, demon hunters suddenly arrive and surround the building. The two wolves charge up, ready for a fight, but they get shot at by the demon hunters. As they get blasted, Ren blocks the attacks with his shield. He tells everyone to run, and while they escape, he stays behind to draw attention, giving Vivien and Lily time to get out. Ren then uses the terminal's bright light to blind the hunters, allowing him and the two wolves to escape as well. Still, the hunters refuse to give up and continue chasing them. Ren and the wolves think they have gotten far enough, but the hunters show up again, just as persistent. Ren soon faces off against a red-haired demon hunter who is impressed by his abilities. She refuses to believe he is just a normal human, since humans should not have such power. As the fight continues, Ren starts getting used to moving like a superhuman. He eventually gains the upper hand, chases her down, and knocks her out. Once she is down, he leaves her behind to help the others. Meanwhile, Yuan and his brother fight hard but are eventually overpowered. Suddenly, Yuan gets stabbed with a silver blade and begins turning to stone. His brother watches helplessly as things get worse, but Ren arrives just in time. Lily joins him and warns that Yuan is in critical condition. She tells Ren she has an idea and uses her newly gained power from her evolution. A strong windstorm forms, giving them a chance to escape with Yuan. They retreat into the forest, where Wu Yue and Zack soon regroup with them. Wu Yue checks on Yuan and says she can heal him using her magic. She explains it is similar to water magic and begins by surrounding him in a sphere of water. As she works, Yuan's brother thanks them and promises to explain everything. He reveals that they targeted Lily because of a prophecy connected to sirens. According to it, a time is coming when outcasts will regain their strength, while demon hunters will weaken. Because of this, many outcasts are gathering their kind, which is why they tried to take Lily. He apologizes for earlier, admitting he thought Vivien had deceived her. Not long after, Wu Yue finishes healing Yuan. Just as they are about to relax, the demon hunters attack again. Zack could easily defeat their leader, but instead suggests talking things out. When the leader refuses, Zack shows a glimpse of his true power, frightening him. The leader tries to run, but Zack teleports and drags him back, warning him not to come after them again. After dealing with him, Yuan and his brother prepare to leave. Lily asks them more about the prophecy, and they say they heard it from a siren who came ashore. As the werewolves leave, the red-haired hunter suddenly reappears and holds a knife to Wu Yua's neck, demanding that her boss be released. The situation becomes tense, but before things escalate, Nangong appears and tells her to let Wu Yue go because he needs to take her away. He secretly signals to Ren that he is on their side. The red-haired hunter agrees to release Wu Yue in exchange for her boss. However, as soon as they step into the forest, they fall into a trap, and their screams echo through the area. It turns out Wu Yue and Nangong know each other, and Wu Yue thanks him for helping her, but then kicks him into the forest anyway. In a shocking twist, Wu Yue is actually Nangong's sister, revealing the truth he mentioned earlier, and leaving the entire group completely stunned, as they never expected it. Later, when the squad gets back home, Wu Yue and Nangong immediately start arguing like usual siblings. Wu Yue complains about how annoying her brother is and how he always follows her around, pretending it is for her protection. Vivien then explains that all sirens are female, and the reason Nangong has a willy is because their father was a demon hunter, while their mother was a siren, meaning that their daddy likes to crack fishies. When Vivien asks about their parents, the siblings reveal that they suddenly disappeared one day without a trace. As everyone continues chatting and having fun, Lily learns that she turned into a husky instead of a wolf during her evolution, and she starts crying. Vivien offers to check her blood and suddenly bites her neck. After checking, she says Lily has nothing related to wolves, but this only makes Lily angry since it feels like Vivien just bit her for no reason. The two quickly return to their usual arguing while the others just watch. Not long after, Yuan and his brother arrive at the house. A fight almost breaks out between them and Nangong, but Zack stops it with his usual brute strength. Once things calm down, Ren explains that Nangong is a trusted ally, even if he is just a part-time demon hunter whose ability is equivalent to Zenitsu without the sleep. Suddenly, Yuan's brother pulls out a gold bar, and Vivien immediately loses focus because she loves money. Out of nowhere, the lights go out. Ren pulls out the terminal to use it as a flashlight, and they start checking around. In the end, they realize nothing attacked them, and the power is out merely because their broke bum of a landlord forgot to pay the electricity bill. Everyone starts talking about money, but none of them actually has any. Ren gets tired of it all and goes to his room to sleep. After he leaves, Lily tells the others that they should help Ren pay the bills. The next morning, Ren wakes up to an empty house. Meanwhile, Lily is trying to work at a puppy shop, but things are not going well. The rest of the group is also struggling to earn money. Ren decides to go to Raven's office to borrow some cash, and Raven agrees to help, saying he has been doing well. Ren then asks if there is a link between the dream space and the outcasts, and she tells him that most outcasts come from there. Later, since none of their attempt at getting jobs are successful, the tenants decide to go on a treasure hunt instead. Ren keeps asking Raven questions, trying to find a way to stop the conflict between outcasts and demon hunters. He explains that he is worried about his tenants. After a long day, Ren returns home and is surprised to see the lights back on. The others welcome him warmly and say they managed to earn enough to pay the bills. Then they all sit together to eat, and outside, the werewolves watch them, realizing they are like one big family, before the two doggy brothers decide to leave. Ren later learns that Nangong has also gone off to work, but the others assure him that, despite him being a demon hunter, he will help them when needed. Ren then discusses about the dream dimension, where they were all originally from, and being curious, every single one of them insist on coming along with him, starting a new adventure to be continued in a season 2 that will never come. If you watch this anime recap until the end, comment down below Daddy Landlord, and if you love anime recaps like this, watch this video.